Oh boy, I can't wait to watch this latest Marvel blockbuster. These films and TV shows are so enjoyable that anyone in the family can just watch. You get where this is going, just play the clip. So I guess we should probably talk about this. So it's no mystery why John Walker destroying somebody with his shield is a controversial scene amongst the fan base. It's because heroes aren't supposed to kill.
You're bruised, but you don't kill, do you? Clark.
The whole idea behind heroes is that they're better than us. Better than people. We create ideals of who a hero is before we even see them in action. That's why John Walker killing somebody is such a controversial subject. But Punisher mowing down 20 people isn't. This is, however, a fantastic opportunity to explore character perspective and character comparison. Now, before I get into this, I'm just going to address my opinion on Walker. I think he's a bad guy. And I think it should be pretty obvious why I think he's a bad guy. I'm addressing this now because who's right and wrong isn't really the point of this video. Okay, he's a dick. Now let's just jump into it. So let's start with the perspective of the viewer. So over the past several episodes, we haven't exactly been given your typical Marvel villain group. Instead of a forgettable group with a bunch of nameless people, we're presented with the Flag Smashers. A group of refugees who are being booted from their homes. Instead of seeking power or destruction, they only want to keep the lies they built over the years in the Blip. And then we're introduced to Nico.
You know, when I was a kid, I was actually a Captain America fan.
Nico doesn't want to be a terrorist. If it was up to him, he'd still be a teacher. We learn of his hopes and we learn of his dreams. This humanizes him, and as a result, sympathizes him. Now John Walker is given the opposite perspective. The only thing John Walker knows about Nico is his association with the terrorist group, the Flag Smashers, which literally just murdered his best friend. Now this would actually demonize Nico in the eyes of John Walker, which would make him more okay with aggressive behavior. This is why he seems confused and angry when he gets punished for his actions in the square.
I understand that! I understand that!
The whole humanize, demonize phenomenon is well documented in several different psychological studies, such as this one. Link in the description down below. Now the whole reason I bring this up is to show the unique framing of these two character perspectives. Because believe it or not, Steve wasn't exactly against murder. And not even your more typical, ooh, we don't know if they're dead murder. He literally drags this guy on a motorcycle before chucking him into an explosion. But we're okay with that, because they're just nameless henchmen in an evil organization. And hey, if you're an alien, we'll even be cool with the odd amputation or so. It's the effect of dehumanization. In these scenes and in these moments, we become John Walker. And that's why the Nico sequence suddenly becomes more interesting. Because he isn't just a nameless person in an evil organization. We know his perspective, his hopes, his dreams. This creates a great opportunity where we get to reflect on the horrors of the heroes presented. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disappointing that a decent amount of the fan base went, nah, he's a terrorist. Especially considering the framing. It's not hard to say that this was a murder. It's framed to be a murder. He knocks down a man running away, and then whilst that man is begging for his life, he beats him to death with his shield. It's a very direct display of what's going on. They use framing to make you feel exactly the way they want you to feel. John is unhinged, and Nico is scared. And this in fact was a murder. But it's also very different framing from how Steve Rogers kills. Whenever Steve aggressively negotiated, the victim is never the subject of the frame. Remember the motorcycle drag I mentioned earlier? That's part of a montage of all the Avengers fighting Hydra. The reason you don't remember is because there's so much visual noise in this sequence, it's hard to focus on one thing. But then when Steve fights, I want to say Mr. Yellow, all alone, he only knocks him out. But that's sort of the point. The directors don't want you to see Steve as a killer, so they don't frame him to be one.
I don't want to kill anyone.
But that brings me back to this sequence. I think the framing is quite clear. This was a murder, so the question is why? If this was film theory, I would be arguing that it's setting up for a moment where a character chooses not to kill somebody. But more so, I believe this is to draw the question to the community. To us. Is this okay? Because so far, the answer in the MCU has been yes. And I don't think we should be. Or at the very least, I don't think we should be as cool with it as we are. These movies are meant to be about heroes. And personally, I think this is a lead up to show us what that is.